What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com. In the last Dynasty video, we went through our first off-season with Duke. We brought in a really good recruiting class. I'm excited about that. Looking forward to unleashing some of those players this season. And today we're going to go through our second preseason. So we're going to kick things off with the schedule. I have already created it. It is an A+ strength of schedule. We're going to kick off the season with a trip to Stanford. That should be a lot of fun. I wanted to schedule Vanderbilt because they beat us badly last season. I want to get my revenge on them. But I was not able to schedule Vanderbilt anywhere on these open dates or the spots where I'm able to. They just weren't shown. So we're going to go with another Power 5 academic school. Then we're going to have Kansas come here. They beat us badly last season. I want to beat them this year. Then we're going to go take a trip to Texas A&M. They're 14th in the country, and this is going to start a murderer's row of games. Look at this right here. Number 14, Texas A&M. Number 8, Virginia. Virginia Tech. Number 7, Miami. Number 25, Georgia Tech. Number 15, Florida State. That's incredible. I don't know if I've ever went through 5 out of 6 games against ranked teams. Just going to be a really monster of a schedule. Then we're going to ease it up a little bit, but we're going to have 2 road games at Wake Forest, at Boston College. Then we got an open date. We got North Carolina to end the conference season. They're going to have Hawaii at the end of the season. I tried my best to put a team right here, but this particular week would not let me have an open date. Otherwise, I would love to finish the schedule with North Carolina, but that didn't happen. But that's okay. So we got our schedule going. I'm really excited about that, and I know you will be too. Let's go to redshirt players. I have already redshirted players, but we're going to go through them. Now, as you can see here, I did not redshirt Justin Gates. That was my original plan, but I had enough people wanting me to start him, and I kind of get it. Schneider is probably the worst impact quarterback I've ever had, just in terms of inconsistencies. So we're going to have Gates start over Schneider, so he's definitely not going to redshirt. At halfback, we're going to redshirt T.J. Brooks, the freshman. Horton and Drummer are going to split those carries. Fullback, I have nobody to redshirt. Wide receiver, we're going to redshirt Marvin Marcellin. He's a sophomore. I think we're going to be fine without him. We got our top 4 guys right here anyways. Tight end. We need as many bodies here as possible, so Brian Wade will definitely not be redshirting. Tackle, we got Warren. I could redshirt him, but I don't want to. We're bad enough as is at tackle, so we need all the bodies we can get. You got guard. I did redshirt Danny Cox. I think we're going to be fine without him. We got a few guys ahead of him. Then you got center. We did redshirt Kobe Lacey, freshman. I think we're going to be fine without him this year. The defensive end, I was going to redshirt Derek Bryant, but if you look, he's a senior. There's no point. Defensive tackle, we are not going to redshirt anybody like Marcus Poland. He's too good to start or not to start, so we're going to have him play. So these 3 guys are going to rotate out quite a bit. Then you got an outside linebacker. We are very weak at this position. Our best player is a true freshman at 78 overall, and that's a drop off behind him. So we're definitely not going to redshirt McCoy. Then you look at middle linebacker. We're going to redshirt Sean Harris, the freshman. I think we'll be okay without him. Then you go to cornerback. We're going to redshirt the very bottom player, Avalio Harrell. I almost don't want to redshirt him, but he's a junior, and that's another body. You just never know if some of these guys get hurt. Free safety. I got 2 true freshmen. I'm going to redshirt one of them, so we'll just redshirt Harper, mainly because I'm going to go back and forth between Woodard and Allen in the depth chart. We'll look at that here in a little bit. You go to strong safety. This was an easy decision. We got a junior and a freshman. We'll just redshirt the freshman. Kicker, we can't redshirt anybody, and we got only 1 punter. So we're not going to redshirt him, obviously. So let's go to our depth chart, which I have already fixed as well. And I'll show you some of the changes I've made. So Gates is our starter over Schneider. Halfback, Horton and Drummer will split the carries. Then you got a fullback. I'm going to start Tim Ball. This was the kid that I moved from halfback to fullback. I'm going to start him just to see how he does, mainly because he's got 85 speed. I think he can block for me a little bit better, just get in front of my halfbacks a little quicker compared to Doling. Doling overall is better, but he's a 65 speed. That's just very slow. I'm afraid my halfbacks will outrun that guy. So we're going to have Ball start. Then you got wide receiver. I got that pretty normal, except I got Buttles as my number 3. I'm going to see how he handles the slot position for now, just because of the speed. Tight end, pretty straightforward. I got my top 3 guys right there. Then offensive line, I got Bada, Terry, over Binion only because of his strength. His awareness isn't as good, but I really don't care about awareness at guard. I want some guy who can really push a defensive tackle around. And it looks like Terry's a much better player at doing that than Binion. Center, I'm going to have Rumsey over Campitelli only because his awareness is a little bit better, less high snaps. Then you got right guard. Craig, he is our best offensive lineman. And then at right tackle, I'm going to play the freshman over the redshirt sophomore. He's just his awareness is not as good, but his raw talent is better. You look at the pass block and run block, he can run block a little bit better. So that's who we're going to start at right tackle. This is going to be frustrating for me for a couple seasons. It's really no different than what we dealt with in the Hawaii Dynasty, but it is what it is. Now you look at defensive ends. I got Kitchen and Nichols as my two starters. I want my faster defensive end at left end. I think they work a little bit better that way. Defensive tackle, these three guys will rotate quite a bit. Outside linebacker at left, I got Thornton. He is a redshirt freshman. I'm only starting him because of his 82 speed. His awareness is awful. Technically, like Nelson should probably start over him, or even Taps. But I want that speed on the field whenever we go to a 4-3. Middle linebacker, true freshman, Ronaldo Mason. That's going to be his spot for probably the next 4 years. Then we got backups behind him. Right outside linebacker, Jimmy McCoy. He'll be a starter for the next 4 years, more than likely. And if you notice how weak I am at outside linebacker, well, the good news is at corner, this is our biggest strength. We got 88 and 80 and a 78. And our 78 overall corner's got 94 speed. So I'm going to be playing a lot more nickel. I'm going to be blitzing with this guy as well. Free safety. I'm going to start the true freshman over Woodard only because of the speed. I need speed. I don't need awareness as much. I am the one who is controlling this kid, so awareness isn't as important. It would still be great if he was smarter, but again, he's just a true freshman. So let's go to strong safety. I'm going to start Davis over A. Darko. It was pretty simple. He's faster and he's smart. Then you go to kicker. So for pure kicking, standpoint, I want Surgan over Feinberg. Feinberg is going to be my starter on kickoffs, but you look over here at the kick power and accuracy. Surgan has better kick accuracy. So I want him to start there. You go to punter. Pretty self-explanatory. He's going to start there. Then you go to kick return. We're going to have Drummer and Buttles and Wright. It's going to be my main three. Drummer's going to handle most of that, especially on punt return. So it's the same three. Then you go to kickoff starters. I'm going to have Feinberg over Surgan, however you want to say his name. But Feinberg's got the better kicking power. We'll try that out. Long snapper, Campitelli is just my backup center. And that is it for the depth chart. I will show you who our captains are. You go to awareness, and Shiner's going to be a captain on offense, and Talley is your captain on defense. So let's go ahead and look at the magazine, which is Athlon Sports preseason polls. You see Florida, USC, Tennessee, Ohio State, so on and so forth. I'm curious to see where they will have us. Probably right in the middle of the pack in the 60s. Hey, I lucked out. Good guess. We are number 61 in the country. We're a C-plus overall program, so we're getting a little bit better. I think we were C overall last season. C offense, C-plus defense. You go to Heisman Watch. I'm hoping we could put somebody on here next year. As you can tell, we don't have anybody on there yet. Preseason All-Americans, I don't know if we would have anybody on here. I don't see it. Second team, maybe Tally, maybe, I don't know. I guess not. We can look at the All-ACC team. So there is Drummer, first team, all-conference. Good to see that. We can keep going, and I don't see anybody else on the first team. How about the second team? We can check this. There's Tally. Good deal. I figured he'd be on there somewhere. So we can look at conference outlook. Conference overall, they have us 11th in the conference. So we're just ahead of North Carolina. So they don't think much of us. But then you look over to the Coastal, and it's the same thing. We're 5th. We're right above North Carolina. Toughest places to play. Again, I don't think this ever changes hardly. I think it's super hard to get a stadium into the top 25. So I never really pay attention to that. So all we got left, I can show you real quickly. Nothing's changing with the coach options. We're sticking with the same playbook. Nothing's going to change there. Everything stays the same. So what we're going to do is go to in-season recruiting. Now, I haven't done anything with this yet, so I'm going to walk you through kind of what I'm thinking about as I'm going through this. So let's look at our pipelines. See who our pipeline states are. Florida and Georgia, I want to keep those as pipelines if possible. I want to keep it more local. It's just cheaper on the recruiting that way. Kentucky may end up being a pipeline. If you remember, we picked up several Kentucky players. For whatever reason, they wanted to come here, so we took them. Maryland is a pipeline. We actually picked up a couple decent guys there, so I do not need to forget that. I think I may keep it as a pipeline. Let's keep going. Of course, North Carolina is going to be a pipeline. That is our own state. And as you can tell, we got a lot of players from that state. You go through some more. I would love to turn Tennessee into one. That'll be like a last resort. We still got Texas as a pipeline. I don't know if I'm going to keep that, though. It's still kind of expensive to get those players since it's so far away. And that looks like that is it for pipelines. So let's go straight to North Carolina. And what we're going to do is, I kind of know exactly what I'm looking for. Fullback, if I can find one that fits, that's great, but more than likely it's going to be a halfback converted over. I would prefer to get a natural fullback and just let him sit there because I don't go to the fullback too much. So maybe we can find a natural fullback that fits what we want. Defensive end, I prefer to get linebackers to move down. Defensive tackle, we need more bodies there. Now, I do know when it comes to wide receivers, I want better players. And the biggest thing is offensive line. We need help everywhere. Outside linebacker, I need help there. So let's look at some of that. So let's go to quarterback. We are fine there. We got 3 coming back. Hopefully nobody wants to transfer out. So I'm not going to go after any quarterbacks in the preseason. So let's keep going. Halfback, fullback, receiver. Again, you know what my one house rule is pretty much, and I only want smart players. And since we picked up, a couple of 5-star players in the offseason, I'm going to go ahead and just go after 4- and 5-star kids. We only went after 3-star kids in the preseason last time. Now all bets are off there, but again, I still want to go after smart kids. So let's keep going. I'm seeing a bunch of not-so-smart kids. Here's a tackle, 6'7", 290, 455, 655. I kind of like that. I want to keep him as smart as possible, so, and we need some help here. We got 4 guys. Let's go ahead and put one on him. A guard, I would love to get this kid, but he's a little too small. He's really smart, though, so we're going to wait. Maybe we can find somebody else. Center, we already got bodies here. We got 2 there. He's a 4-star kid. He may start for me next season. I'll go ahead and put one on him. We need help on the worst way on the line. Let's keep going. Outside linebacker, 4-star. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. He would start day 1 for us next year. Middle linebacker, we need to find defensive tackle or defensive ends as well. This kid, he probably wouldn't start for me, although I wouldn't mind going after him. I need to find smart guys who are really big to play defensive end. So let's keep going. Corner. I would love to go after this kid. B awareness, I normally would. He kind of fits what we want at corner, but I'm going to wait. Free safety, we're okay there. And strong safety, I'm not too worried about this position for now, although I do like the look of this kid. He's humongous, he's smart, and he runs a 4.52. That's his only downside. And we already got bodies there. We got 2 juniors and a freshman. So I think I'm going to wait. We got bigger fish to fry. So that's all out of North Carolina that I want to see. So let's go to Florida. I consider that my next most important pipeline just because there's so many kids out of Florida compared to Georgia. So let's look here. I don't care about quarterbacks. Halfbacks, I don't care. Fullbacks. Wide receiver, not seeing anybody there. Here's another tackle I can put on the list. Let's go to guard. 6'2", 296, 430, 640. Let's go ahead and put him on the list for now. Center, A-. I'm going to... Oh, gosh. I'm going to wait. We'll wait on that one. Defensive end. Again, I'm not a big fan of going after these natural guys just because you're usually just not strong enough and not fast enough. So let's just wait. Defensive tackle, we need help here, but he's not smart enough. I want to try to get the smartest guys that I possibly can. So outside linebacker. Now, this kid right here, he could be a defensive end for me. The problem is he's so slow. 4.78, just not good enough. This kid he could be a good defensive end for me down the road. Edmund Collins, let's go after him. Middle linebacker, 6'5", 225, 4'6". I probably need to go after somebody like that. He could almost be a defensive end for me. Let's just go ahead and put one on him. No, let's take that one off for now. Because I don't know if he'll start over the guy that I currently have. Corner. I like what I see here, except both of them are really short. So I'm going to pass on those. Again, I'm being very picky about what I want. So that's kind of it out of Florida. Let's look at Georgia. Quarterback, halfback, I don't worry. We got too many there. Fullback, he's not smart enough. Another tackle, he's really small. Guard, center, defensive end, defensive tackle, outside linebacker. Nothing there out of Georgia. Here's a strong safety, 6'4", but he runs a 4'6", and that's not a huge need for us at the moment. So let's go to Maryland. I know Maryland is a pipeline. I wouldn't mind keeping it as such. It's helped us quite a bit. You can tell Maryland has more players than Georgia does on this list. Halfback, fullback, receiver, all these guys just not good enough. Tackle, another one. A guard, a center, defensive end. Again, they're just not smart enough. It's really easy to thumb through some of these kids when you know you're only going to go after really, certain players. And not much out of Maryland. Okay, so let's think about what are some other ones that I had. I'm going to have to go back through these again. I should have wrote them down. I got a whole lot more than I thought. I know we went through Florida. We went through Georgia. So what I may end up having to do is maybe go back to North Carolina and get some more. I know we got Texas. We can look at some Texas kids. I may have no choice but to go through those again. Or keep Texas as the pipeline. I'd love to go through Tennessee. Or Kentucky and Tennessee, that's right. So let's stick with that. Let's go to Kentucky. They're not a pipeline yet, but we may turn them into one before too long. Halfback, he looks the part, but again, we don't really need one. Tight end, guard, 6'2", 273, A+. But man, he's not big enough. He's not strong enough either. Outside linebacker, 4'5'2". I kind of like every bit of that. We need help there. Middle linebacker, no. Corner, yes. A+, 6'2", out of Corbin, Kentucky. That's like an hour away from where I live. That is awesome. Please come to Duke. Yes. Free safety, strong safety, and that is it. So let's go to Tennessee. Let's see what they got here. Quarterback, halfback, fullback, C+, wide receiver. All these guys just aren't. Okay, here's a tight end. I need some bodies here. They don't have to be exactly like smart, or wide receiver type tight ends. I do need some bodies more than anything else. I'm actually going to go after him. I had a hard time going after tight ends in the offseason anyways. So here's some guards. Like, I would love to get this kid right here. 490, 670 on the squat. I like his size. Let's go after him. Michael Jackson. You got defensive end, defensive tackle. 5'11", 289. I think I may go after this one. He's a little bit small for what I'm liking, but we need bodies there. Here's another middle linebacker out of Smyrna. 4'6", 670. A on the awareness. I don't worry so much about the height. It's the weight that I like. Let's take a chance on him. So we're down to one spot left. So what we can do is go back to North Carolina. Again, I don't think I'm going to go after Texas kids. We got plenty other pipelines that we can work with and focus on. And I can't. Let's go through these one more time. I was hoping I could sort through the field awareness, but I couldn't. So I'm going to pick up another kid. Probably this guard more than likely. 440, 605. Let me look here. Defensive end of fullback. And the whole fullback situation may be tough to go get. Like this kid right here would be a really good defensive end for us. But he's just a B awareness. I want to get really smart guys, but I may resort to B. Oh man, he would fit perfectly. This kid would be a really good corner for us as well. I think I will take a chance on this Mason kid. B, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Okay, so that is it for all of our scholarships. Let's go ahead and we'll sim the week. Now let's go over to our recruiting and let's look at all 12 of these guys. Now I'm going to probably stick with the same method. If you notice here, we got 50 guys coming back. That means we're going to have a humongous recruiting class next season. But for in-season recruiting, it's still going to be really tough for us to get a bunch of wins. So I'm still going to go after about just 4 guys total. So let's see if any of these guys have a positive pitch out of the gate. If they do, we'll definitely go after him. So this kid we're definitely not going to go after. We already got a negative pitch. So far, I'm not seeing much of anything. So I think what I'll do is just go after 4 guys that I really like. Let's look at this tight end. A-minus hands, she's just not very fast, but I'm okay with that. And tight ends are really hard to get in this game, so let's just go after him. And that fulfills a pipeline need that I'm looking for. Let's go after that. I'm looking at these other ones. Let's look at this middle linebacker. This was the one that didn't like one of her pitches. So everybody else, we are kind of low on the totem pole, but I'm not too worried about where they start. It's just how we finish. So North Carolina outside linebacker, I think this kid would be just amazing to have. He could be a defensive end down the road too. It's definitely worth going after him. We'll put 25 there. Corner, Chauncey Manning. I want this kid badly. He just fits perfectly for what I want in our program and at that position. And we got one more to go after. Do we go after another center? Do we go after a defensive tackle? I'm not overly excited about this kid's size, so I just may bypass on him. This center, I think, may do... Look at how strong you... 480 and 670. Man, that's just a really strong center. Here's another outside linebacker. We need to go 6'3", 218. Kid out of Kentucky. Let's look at some of these other ones down here. We got a guard. 6'6", 310. Michael Jackson out of Collegedale, Tennessee. Got a tackle. You got a guard. 430, 640. 490, 670. Just a big difference, as you can tell. Then an outside linebacker, which we're already going after one. Matt Mason. This is the kid that only had the B awareness. I think I'm just going to bypass on him. I think what I'll probably go is get after Michael Jackson. I just feel like the name's worth it alone. Plus, we need some help there at guard in the worst way. So let's just go after him. Unless I change my mind, the only thing I can think of is you go to our roster. What's more of a pressing need? We need offensive line help. You look at our tackle position, we got one guy leaving, and a right tackle is going to start next season. So this is a big weakness of ours. We probably need to go after a tackle instead. Guard, he's a senior, and we need help at guard and tackle. We need help at center. We need help at all 3 positions, more or less. So what we can do is go back to in-season recruiting and decide which guys do we absolutely need. Like, if you look at our tight end position, we actually got 2 guys there. Is Patrick a senior? You look at our... I need to go back and look at our tight ends. Let's look at our tight ends. We'll go here. A tight end, Patrick is a senior. He's gone, so we need help there in the worst way. And tight ends are hard to come by. So that's what we'll do. We'll stick with the tight end. I got to keep this outside linebacker. I really want the corner, so I think what I may do is do 20 and 20 and 20. I'm really stretching it. I would prefer to not do this. I want that kid, and we're going to pick a defensive, either the center or this tackle. He's a 3-star, 6'7", 290. That's not what I really want. I think that answered my own question. So I think what we're going to do is go after this center. Hopefully we can get offensive linemen, next year. So it's just kind of, it's just going to be a tough one. But I think this guy was, all 4 of these guys would start for us next season. We don't need help at corner too badly. But that guy's just too good not to pass up. 439. A+. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. That's tough for me. That's something I'll think about. If you guys have any comments on that, maybe I can take the points off of this kid and go 25 for the other 4 guys. The other 4. We'll decide on that later. I can change my mind between now and the next video. Okay, come on back. In the next video, we will take on Stanford to kick off the season. They got a lot more talent than we do, but they did not end the season well last year. They run a West Coast offense, I think a 3-4 defense, so that should be interesting. All right, I'll talk to you later.